Money on my mind, looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine.
Welcome to the Poole Locke YouTube channel. I'm James Locke. Today we're going to answer some of the Ask James questions of the day. We have this question from Nicole, and she asked, my 401k dropped $12,000 this week. Yikes. I'm a few years from retirement and afraid to look at my statements. Should I move everything to cash? All right, Nicole, thanks for having the courage to ask this question, because I know a lot of people out there are feeling exactly the same way right now. The anxiety of watching a balance decline when retirement is close is very real. And it's something I take seriously. Now, without knowing your full financial situation, your income, expenses, other assets, timeline, I can't give you a specific recommendation, but I can share the general principle we apply in situations like yours. The default answer in most cases is, of course, don't overreact. Panic selling is one of the most reliable ways to lock in losses and miss subsequent recoveries. But that doesn't mean doing nothing is always right either. Context matters enormously. Here's the challenge with moving everything to cash inside a 401k. Most 401k plans have limited investment options. A cash or stable value account inside your plan might only yield 2 or 3% annually. That's better than a loss, but after inflation, you may still be losing purchasing power in real terms. And when the market recovers, you'll need to make a decision about when to get back in. That's extremely difficult to do well. However, there are options worth knowing about. Now, if you're 59 and a half or older, you may qualify for what's called an in-service withdrawal from your 401k. This allows you to roll in a portion of, or all of, your 401k, the balance, into an individual retirement account while you're still employed and without triggering taxes or penalties. So once in an IRA, you have access to a much wider universe of income-producing investments. The kinds of dividend, paying stocks or REITs or other income-focused assets we've been discussing in previous videos. So if you've left a previous employer, those 401k accounts can be rolled into an IRA at any age with no tax consequences. Now, many people have one or more old 401ks they've forgotten about, and consolidating them into an IRA can dramatically improve your retirement options. The key question isn't really, should I move to cash? The key question is, have I made the transition to an income-first strategy? If you have a portfolio designed to generate reliable income from dividends and interest, then a $12,000 fluctuation in value matters far less, because your income isn't dependent on the account balance staying at any particular level. It's a great question, an important question. If you have a question that you'd like to send in, you can do so. You can email it to poollocke@poollocke.com. We'll move on to our second question. This is from Robert. He says, I plan to retire at 65. Should I wait until tariff uncertainty settles down? Robert, this is a timely question, and I appreciate you asking it. Tariffs are getting a lot of attention right now, and for good reason. They have the potential to affect corporate earnings, inflation, and consumer spending in meaningful ways. Let me give you a quick overview of where things stand. Tariffs are essentially taxes on imported goods. They're paid by the importing company, not the foreign government, and those companies then decide whether to absorb that cost or pass it on to the consumer or find alternative suppliers. So the economic effects depend heavily on how companies respond and how long the tariffs remain in place. So right now, inflation is running around 2.5%, which is elevated compared to historical norms, but not at crisis levels. Many companies have been absorbing tariff costs rather than passing them fully to consumers, which has moderated inflation somewhat. Now, at the same time, courts have challenged certain tariff implementations, and some companies have already begun seeking refunds on tariffs they paid. Here's a scenario worth considering. If tariffs are reduced or refunded over the next year or two, the effects could actually be positive for markets. Corporate profit margins that were, compressed by tariff costs could expand. Inflationary pressures could ease, consumer spending could strengthen, markets could benefit meaningfully. But here's the more important point. Retirement decisions shouldn't hinge on tariff headlines. Tariffs are a policy variable. Policies change, courts intervene, negotiations happen. If you structured your entire retirement timeline around predicting the outcome of trade policy, you'd likely be paralyzed indefinitely because there's always some form of uncertainty on the horizon. So the better question is your portfolio designed to generate sufficient income to fund your retirement lifestyle regardless of what tariffs do? If you've made the transition to an income-first strategy with a portfolio anchored in dividend-paying stocks, REITs, and other income-producing assets, then whether you retire in 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months matters far less. Your income keeps flowing, whether markets are reacting to tariff news or not. The goal of income-first investing is precisely this: to make market volatility largely irrelevant to your retirement income. You're not dependent on selling assets at the right time. You're collecting income that arrives whether the market is up, down, or sideways. Great questions today. If you have a question you'd like to send in, please do so. Email it to poollocke@poollocke.com. And if you like what you heard today, go ahead and like and subscribe to our channel. I'm James Locke, your retirement income source. I'll see you next time.
Money on my mind, looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine. Retirement is near, don't you live in fear. Listen up, my friend.